still and calm in this world that we live in.
It is.
Because there are a lot of demands and expectations.
I think learning to say no is a big one. I mean, I had a few text messages last night. It's really odd. You know, sometimes you'll get like 4 or 5 people. Do you get this? Like all messaging you at the same?
No, not.
Just like, oh, it might be time for a catch up. And then like, you know, and I was like, oh, geez, 5 people messaged me for, you know, to catch up, which is wonderful. I'm very happy about it. But there's no way that I can say, I like every single one of them, but I can't say yes to all. Oh, yep, I'll see you all tomorrow, or you can come tomorrow and you come in the afternoon and I'll see you on New Year's. And, you know, so I just message back and say, look, it's a really busy time of year. I'll let you know when I'm free. I've got the kids at home, and it's just, you know, I've got, and that's, I don't want to be this busy.
And I think too, and we were talking about this with regard to Christmas expectations and familial expectations and commitments and responsibilities. That thing where, and catching up with people because it's Christmas, and that expectation that if we say no to people, that A, they're not going to like us, B, we're not validating them as a person. But sometimes those people, well, it's not our job to validate them for a start off, but they also don't actually mean anything to us. I mean, we care about everybody, we love everybody, but that person, how they feel about us, it doesn't mean anything. So there is that big expectation where even if there was someone that you didn't like how do you say no? And then it's like, oh, they're not going to like, oh, they're going to be offended. And because I know, for example, my partner coming from an Italian background, you say yes to everybody, because what if they think you're rude? And I just say to Charlie, I think it's ruder that everybody sits around and pretends they like each other. The minute they walk out the door, she's fat, she's lazy, I hate her husband, I hate this, and oh, she did this, and did you see how she ate her cake and all that? Which I noticed you haven't finished, by the way. So I've said, you know,
I'm very dainty, you know. I can't even get it on my spoon.
Oh my God, look at that, crumbs everywhere. But yeah, it's, to me, like I'd said to Charlie, I'd rather just be polite and say, no, thank you, I don't want to come. To me, life is too short. I'm sick and tired of spending my time trying to make other people like me. I don't need the whole world to like me. I don't have time for everybody. Like, I only have time for a few people that get me.
When that really hit home to me was when I lost my dad 5 years ago. And obviously it was me, my sister, and his partner and her daughter that were pretty much at the hospital for the last year. He was sick for about 5 years. You know, most days we take turns, so we do tag teaming, you know. So we'd go, and he had he had a lot of friends in his life. He was always doing things for other people, you know, often to the detriment of the family even, you know, like making sure other people were happy, and very, very generous, very giving man. And, you know, lent a lot of money to people that never got paid back, things like that. Like, we didn't really care, you know. And there were 3 people there, out of all the friends that he made, there were 3 men that came sort of regularly to see him. So one was his brother that came with him when we immigrated. Another was a friend that he'd had from, you know, the early 80s when we moved to Australia as well. And the other one was another guy that had sort of come and gone over the years. And these people would come regularly to the hospital and visit him. And when he passed away at the end, I remember there was maybe 5 of us or 6 of us in that front room. And the 2 men that he was friends with were crying. And his brother was crying, and Janine and I, my sister and I, would sort of cried a bit. And I remember sitting there going, this is it. Like, when you die, there's a very small group of people that are really affected by you leaving this earth. And you know, at the funeral there were a lot of people that came, and I'm not saying, you know, they didn't like him or
that he didn't, you know, affect
but
their
I
lives.
know how many times he would leave mum at home with us to go and help somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, and make sure they were okay. And I remember mum being upset by that, you know, at times.
Yeah, fair enough.
Not because he was a bad man, but just he was always worried.
Putting other people before his own family.
He was. And I think it was that wanting to be liked.
Yeah.
He was well liked.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes down to it, and it's not about going around being rude to everybody you don't like.
No, of course not.
But that energy and that time that we focus on, you know, where we try to catch up with everyone and show up for everyone, you know, it can be so draining when there's no deep connection with certain friendships. And yet I'm guilty of this, you know, I've continued on friendships that I know have passed their use by date, where someone's come into my life for a season and it's been great, but I know that we've changed, we're different, and it's time to release. And I've had trouble with it. And I've learned now that that's okay.
Yeah.
And that there's very, very few people that are with you for a whole lifetime.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I don't think that somebody that truly sees you would ever be offended if you said, I just can't now.
Yeah.
If you were completely honest and said, I mean, you could even go as far as saying, look, I'm not in a good mental state.
Yeah.
I need some space to myself at the moment. Somebody that loves you will be like, is there anything I can do? If not, you call me when you're ready.
Yeah. And I think for me, I shouldn't say I'm working really hard at it, at actually getting those people close to me, but I think I'm very mindful now of the energies that I let into my life, because I want to have people in my life that I can say, because I do get anxiety and stuff like that, where I can say, look, I'm just not in a great place right now. I just don't think I'd be much company. I want to have those people in my life.
You want to be seen.
Yes. Well, you want to be seen, but you also don't want to have to feel like you have to justify yourself or explain yourself, just to give people the real reason, and they go, yeah, cool, no dramas.
I went on a shamanic retreat a couple of